All right, I got one here from Jake. Hello, Jackal Pack Leaders. After binging 40 full Unsleevables, I'm not going to do it, podcast I listened to for free after you started dumping to Spotify, you finally got me. I'm now a full-fledged Jackal pup. Got another one, boys. Congrats, it worked. You win. I just finished listening to episode 41 where y'all talked about the Grand Prix structure and how awesome and fun it was. Although I started playing when they still had Grand Prix, I started in Return to Ravnica. I never got to attend any, as there never seemed to be any nearby, and I was in high school at the time. I lived near Houston, Texas, so the best option for me was usually the Dallas SCGs. Fort Worth, what's good? What's good, Fort Worth? Gus's Chicken, let's go. Anyways, I guess if there's a question or request after this ramble, is to tell more stories of the GP days. That's just like what GPs were. And there's a lot of conversation right now on Twitter. I don't know if you've seen this or not. Just like GPs bring them back, all this other stuff.
Not any more than any other time I have enough.
Yeah, it's kind of like popped up again.
Okay.
You know, right from the little thundercloud of just like GPs are such gas. Bring them back. They're such gas. I wish I had GPs to watch every weekend or like major tournaments. They were gas.
They would still be gas if you brought them back.
Maybe. So here's my thought on GPs. Once they ramped it up, and we're doing like 50 or 60 a year, not gas.
Yeah, basically
too many.
Basically, all I want, and I know this is a function of like age and a million other things, like whatever. So I'm not saying I'm the target demo.
Yeah.
But if there was just a tournament or two a year that I could fly to, right? All I had to do was show up, and if I went on a heater, I would go to the Pro Tour. I would fly there.
Yeah.
Not all the time.
Yeah.
But just every once in a while.
Occasionally.
That'd be great. Yeah.
So here's the thing. Here's why I feel the way I do about GPs, because everyone looks at them fondly and with rose-colored glasses because, you know, it was a thing that we did that we can't get back, or at least Wizards is indirectly telling us we can't get it back. Here's the thing. GPs are great when they matter.
Yes.
When top 8ing a GP meant that you were hot shit and it was a big deal and people were like, who top 8 the last GP? And like, it could have been anywhere in the world, but when they decided they were going to ramp up and they gave like the contract to Channel Fireball, this was like around like 15, 16, 17, like post us doing Miami and Richmond and Charlotte. And they really just started firing off like there's a GP on the East Coast and the West Coast of the United States and one in Europe and like all this other stuff. That's when it got bad because it's just like, who won? Who cares? There's so many of these fucking things. I can just skip one and go to the next one, or I can go to an SCG, or I can do this other stuff. It's like there's too much. Now there's too much.
I think, but I think you could find a number above 0 and below 60 where it would feel significant and not dilute the things that you're talking about.
So I agree with that, but also with that in mind, they also have to put a lot of effort into making them matter.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just,
like you can find the right number, but it's like, okay, GPs are back. Okay, cool. But like, so I'll give you an example. Like at the Magic Con, I think it was in Chicago, right? Like they had like some 70K standard tournament or something that was like effectively a GP, you know, like 2-day tournament at this Magic Con that has over 10,000 people in it. And like, it's my job to know who won. So Control for the Sake of Control, which is it's a screen name for someone on Magic Online who actually just top 8 at the last PT in Seattle. So kudos. That's awesome. But like, yeah, like who actually knew that happened? You know, like, and I say that in a way that's just like, this sucks that people don't know that this is happening. This is my fear of like, people are like, yo, bring these tournaments back. They're so awesome. And that's why I say they were so awesome. My fear is that if you bring GPs back, that shit doesn't happen. It's just a random tournament that we play in.
Well, I think the 70K shows the issue there, which is coverage and branding.
Yes.
Why is the Grand Prix? We use the word Grand Prix to describe
the 70K.
Very different tournaments of different formats, of different quality of competition, of different, like all of this. And it's like, why do we treat a Grand Prix top 8 like a Grand Prix top 8 when they're so different from each other? It's like, because the branding matters.
Yeah.
70K doesn't mean anything.
No.
It's just the prize in the prize pool.
Yeah. So like my concern now is they bring it back and the branding's not there. And it's just like, you happy? We brought them back. You know, we got like fucking 20 GPs for you. And it's like, who won? Don't know. Don't care. So if they're going to bring them back, they have to bring them back in like a major way. And I will say, given the proof of concept around the 70K that I mentioned, that effectively like no one's strong obviously, but it's like who cares really? And then you know about the brainstorm tournaments that are happening
Yeah.
it's like those are just the easiest tournaments in the world to market.
Mm-hmm.
It's like these brainstorms are like worth like $25,000 and the artwork's incredible on them, and it's like, so who won any of them?
Yeah,
Who won any of them?
that is a failing of a different sort, but that is a failing.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, so you want like an awesome tournament to play in that's like worth something. It's not worth an invite to the Pro Tour, obviously, but it's like it's worth a lot. It's like, it's like a real cash tournament, and it's like, so. I mean, like I know one person that won one of them. So it's a guy from Seattle that used to play at the Mox Bellevue. Really nice guy. Name is escaping right now because it's late. But it's like, yeah. So who won these things? Like again, like there's no anything behind any of the stuff besides the Pro Tour and Worlds.